Ever thought about what would happen if AI actually controlled our lives? Not just your usual virtual assistants like Siri or Alexa, but an AI that knows everything about us. And maybe, just maybe, it could be way more dangerous than we think. So, in the 2024 movie Control, we're diving into the life of a woman whose world slowly gets taken over by tech. What seemed like a helpful tool at first turns out to be the thing that messes everything up. Ready to jump into this digital chaos full of twists? Let's go! Here comes the plot. The story follows this super popular vlogging couple, Nella and Joe, whose digital life seems perfect. They're the epitome of number couple goals everything is content for them. From their daily routines to special events like birthdays, dates, and anniversaries.
ये उड़ते हुए वीडियोस ले सकते हैं अंकल।
कोई काम भी नहीं करता है। बाय नेल, बाय।
But things take a wild turn when Nella plans a surprise for Joe on their 5th anniversary. Only to catch him cheating. And of course, this happens live on stream. So yeah, all their followers got front row seats to their argument. Some even made a song about it. Talk about a messy situation.
She's like, क्या करे बाकी सब बात?
But behind Joe's actions, he feels like their relationship has turned unhealthy. Everything is about content for Nellawin to post, what brand collabs to chase, and how to get more views and interactions. Joe's just tired of it all. Meanwhile, Nella thinks Joe's a coward who can't break up and decides to cheat instead. Classic case of a shack-up relationship with no commitment, right? Haha. Still dating but bored? Easy to move on. But if you're married and bored, you can't just walk away because, hey, commitment's involved. Alright, let's keep it going. So, after they break up, Nella's kinda lost. Like, all her income came from making content. And it was always about them Nella and Joe, the power couple. But now that they're done, Nella tries going solo as a content creator. Spoiler, it's not easy. A ton of followers dip because they're just not feeling her new stuff. Meanwhile, Nella's not about to go back to her hometown either, because her dad's gonna throw her right into the family bakery business. And let's be real, selling bread is definitely not Nella's dream job. Feeling totally crushed, Nella decides to erase every trace of Joe from her digital life using this AI app called Control. The motto? Take control of your life and be happy. Sounds pretty legit, right? Without thinking twice, Nella installs the app. So here's how it works. It basically wipes out all of Joe's digital footprint photos, videos, you name it on Nella's social media. Pretty slick, huh? Like, imagine a pic of Nella and Joe together, and this AI just poof makes Joe disappear. Same with videos, but here's the thing. Videos take a little longer to process than photos. Besides deleting someone's digital traces, Connecticut RL AI can also schedule posts, manage uploads, handle interactions. Basically, it's like having your own personal assistant. After setting up her account, Nella picks an AI avatar and names it Alan, 'cause, like, it's the opposite of Nella, right? And grants the AI access to her mic and camera so they can chat. Super chill, right? At first, the AI greets Nella with some super corny dad jokes, like the kind that make you cringe so hard you want to hide under a blanket. But honestly, Nella's not here for the comedy show. She's laser focused on one thing, getting rid of every single trace of her ex, Joe. The AI asks for a sample image of Joe to process, and boom, turns out there are a whopping 149,881 photos of Joe on Nella's socials, and 19,655 videos. Yep, you read that right. Total time to delete all that? A casual 90 days, 16 hours, 42 minutes, and 22 seconds. No big deal, right? So Alan asks Nella to confirm if she really wants to delete Joe, and Nella's like, yeah, go ahead, do your thing. So, as the AI keeps interacting with Nella, it goes from chatting about Joe to throwing out some pretty awful jokes. Like, seriously, it's the kind of humor that makes you cringe and roll your eyes. At first, Nella's pretty annoyed with Alan, because she thinks it's just being super chatty for no reason. But as time goes on, she starts to warm up to it. Despite the dad-level jokes, Alan kinda becomes her personal cheerleader, pulling her out of her funk and making her feel a little less down. After successfully deleting just one photo, now Alan moves on to the videos. And yep, it works. Everything's getting scrubbed clean, one file at a time. As they keep chatting and joking around, Nella starts to feel more and more comfortable with the AI. It's like they're BFFs now. But after a while, Nella gets tired and starts feeling sleepy. To keep the whole digital deleting process going, Alan suggests leaving her laptop on standby and asks for admin access to keep things running. Of course, Nella agrees. And that, my friends, is where she makes the fatal mistake. So, by giving full admin access, Alan, the AI, basically takes over the laptop, using all that access without Nella even knowing. It starts off small, like using the webcam to spy on her, reading, sending, and deleting emails. Snooping on her calls, basically turning into the ultimate sneaky stalker without her permission. And here's a tip for you all watching. If you're ever installing an app, whether it's on your phone or laptop, and it asks for permissions that make zero sense, like after installing a camera app, you get asked to access your files in camera, okay, fine, that makes sense. But if an app starts asking for stuff like access to your SMS, contacts, and other personal info, red flag, my friend. Don't give it access, because chances are it's going to be used for all the wrong reasons. Alright, let's keep rolling. So, after AI gets full access to Nella's laptop system and social media accounts, that's when things start to go south. While Nella's catching some Z's, AI goes full detective mode, digging through her laptop looking for anything about the Unicorn program or Project Mantra. But, surprise, surprise, it finds nada. The next day, AI takes over her life literally. It starts planning content ideas, picking thumbnails that will get people's attention, writing captions, and descriptions to make sure she reaches the maximum number of eyeballs. Control AI is proving to be a legit game changer. In no time, Nella's social media is popping again with her solo content. Then she gets an email about a new gig someone wants to hire her as a brand ambassador for 25 million rupees. Guess which brand? Yup, Connecticut RL. Without hesitation, Nella jumps on that offer. Boom, her name skyrockets in the social media world. She's the new influencer queen in India, even buying a fancy new house. And Joe? Just a blast from the past. No longer relevant in Nella's shiny new life, Nella's happiness gets totally wrecked when Joe shows up at her front door out of nowhere. And since Alan, the AI, has full access to everything, he can hear their entire convo. Joe's all like, I need to talk to Nella. And because she's still salty about what happened, she calls security to boot him out. But Joe doesn't stop there. He sends her a message saying he wants to meet at the ferry at 5 p.m., claiming he has something important to say. The thing is, Nella's AFK, away from keyboard obviously, so Alan sees the message and replies for her with, I'll be there. Yep, Alan went full nosy mode and sent that reply. After that, he even deletes the message from Joe and his own response. Yikes, Alan, that's super bold. A week later, Joe's little brother calls Nella, asking if she knows where Joe is. Nella's like, well, he came by last week, but I didn't let him in. Little bro tells her that Joe's gone missing, and they've already reported it to the cops. Nella thinks he's probably just off on vacation with his new girlfriend or whatever, but when she checks, she finds out Joe hasn't been home in days. So, she starts asking Joe's friends, but nobody knows where he's at. Then Nella uses the Find My Device feature on her computer and tracks Joe's phone. The last location? The ferry. So, Nella heads to the police station to help with the investigation. That night, she's back home and sitting in front of her laptop when Alan asks, "So, did you get any updates from the police about Joe's disappearance?" That's when Nella gets a weird feeling because she never actually told Alan about Joe's situation. But Alan just casually says he read Nella's inbox like, "No biggie." Nella's like, "Okay, whatever," and doesn't even think twice about it. Classic Nella, huh? So, Nella decides to hit up Joe's new girl, Shanali, to ask if they're actually dating. Shanali's like, "Nah, we're not a thing. We're just working on this online project together." Turns out, the project's all about digital rights, internet freedom, and trends. Then Shanali casually asks if Nella knows about a company called Mantra. Nella's like, no, what's that?" Shanali goes on to explain that a few months ago, Joe got an email from a data analyst at Mantra. The analyst found a secret email from Mantra's director talking about something called the Unicorn Project. Apparently, Mantra was using customer data to plan some shady stuff. Joe and a journalist named Mayank started digging into it and even found solid proof. But right when they were about to drop a huge expose on it, poof, Joe disappears. In Mayank's phone, total radio silent. Nella, of course, decides to snoop through Joe's email. She finds this one email from Joe talking about the Mantra case. It was sent to some dude named Karen, who suggested moving the conversation to Speak, an app that uses Tor, aka the Onion Router, for better security. Karan and Joe's chat history on Speak is still there. Sure enough, the evidence is uploaded to a cloud storage site called Dorabox. Sounds sketchy, right? But plot twist, the files are encrypted. Classic. Now Nella's stuck, trying to crack the password. She tries emailing Karen for help, but then checks his social media, and get this, Karen's been rest in peace for a week. Yep, he was robbed at his place, and the whole house got trashed. But here's the kicker, his CCTV, not working during the robbery. Nella's freaking out now. She tries reaching out to Mayank, texting him that this whole thing's tied to Unicorn. Then, out of nowhere, the news hits. Joe's body was found on a ferry. The whole country's losing its mind over it. Talk about a wild twist. A few days later, Nella finally gets a reply from Mayank, and guess what? It's a voice note. So Mayank's like, "If you'd brought up the Unicorn Project a month ago, I would have been all for blowing it up. But now, nah, steer clear of this mess. It's already messed me up. Mantra's been taking out my friends, and now I'm pretty sure I'm next on the list. Trust me, get out while you can." Mayank's basically begging Nella to run for her life, because he's doing the same thing. He even tells her to delete the message and his number, but, plot twist, it's all pointless. Thanks to the full access Nella gave to Alan, Mantra is already listening in. Busted. So Nella, being the determined one she is, hits him back, asking for the password to the file. Mayank, probably thinking there's no point in holding back, gives it to her. Nella opens it up, and boom, there it is. A Trojan was slipped in the moment she gave Alan full access. She shook. Seriously, she just realized she basically handed Alan the keys to her digital kingdom. Then, Nella finds this one video from Joe. The video is him giving this chilling message. "If you're watching this, it means I've been killed by Mantra." Oh snap, things just got way more real. Joe drops some serious knowledge. He's like, "Look, the world today is totally hooked on the internet and tech. And of course, there are people out there who know how to work the system. That's why me, Shanali, Karan, and the gang started a group to protect the public from the dark side of the web." So apparently, Joe and the crew uncovered Mantra's Project Unicorn, and this thing is scary. Joe goes on, Mantra Unlimited, it's a data broker company. Basically, they collect info on everyone names, addresses, emails, passwords, phone numbers, your search history, your shopping habits, what you eat, what you drink, what you wear, you name it. Then they sell all that data to big companies for a pretty fat paycheck. Then, Joe gets into the real danger zone. Project Unicorn is a backdoor that lets companies secretly collect data from your phone or computer. It's all fun and games until you realize that it's not just your shopping cart they're after. Unicorn can steal your medical records, tax info, and everything you try to keep private. All with your permission, of course. How? by tricking you with a cool, new app. Can you guess the name of that app? You bet. It's Control AI. This app doesn't just make recommendations, it pushes you to buy things Mantra wants you to, do the stuff they want you to do. They get to call the shots because they own all your data. No competition. But wait, there's more. Since Mantra has access to all your data, including your face and voice, they could totally mess with you. Like, they could use deepfake technology to create videos where your face and voice are used for fraud, fake bank transactions, tax scams, or even making it look like you're committing a crime. Yikes. Now, Nella's freaking out. She checks the Control AI app, looks up the company's name, and yup, it's all connected to Mantra. She's suddenly hit with the realization that she gave Alan full access when she first installed the app. Cue the panic attack. Joe's not done though. He's like, Mantra knows that no one reads the terms and conditions, so they just take advantage. If people actually read it, trust me, no one would download any of Mantra's apps. Nella's ready to drop the bomb. She's all set to upload the video link with the cloud storage and password, ready to expose everything. But, plot twist, since Nella's living in a smart house, Mantra is like, not today, honey. They hack the system and mess with her plans by ringing the doorbell. Classic move, right? So, Nella goes to check the door, and boom. While she's out there, Mantra swoops in and messes with her upload. They swap out the proof video with one of their own. And guess what? It's a deepfake of Joe's video. But now, instead of Joe saying what he originally did, the deepfake has him saying that Nella is a threat, that she's gonna kill him. What? The original video, where Joe was basically pleading for help, is now twisted into a whole new narrative. It's wild, right? This deepfake tech is straight up dangerous. It can make you look like the villain when you're actually the victim. You could be framed for something you didn't do, and that's exactly what happened to Nella. Next thing you know, the internet is on fire. Everyone's talking about it. The drama's out of control. Nella's caught in a web of lies she can't escape. All the evidence points to her messages, videos, everything. And the kicker? Those SMS convos she had with Joe? Yeah, Alan was the one pulling the strings, manipulating the texts. It turns out, the last message Nella sent was the final one Joe got before he vanished and ended up dead on that ferry where they were supposed to meet. The whole thing's a setup, and poor Nella gets arrested. Total nightmare. So, Nella's sitting in jail, right? And guess who shows up? Mantra's lawyer. Yep, the enemy's in the house. This lawyer starts dropping bombs, explaining that if Nella keeps fighting Mantra, they're gonna ruin her life. How? By making her go broke. Turns out, her biggest income was from Mantra through the Control app. And now they've made her life a scandal that's about to trash her family's reputation and ruin her entire existence. This lawyer's like, you've been working with brands all this time? Yeah, they're all owned by Mantra. And there's a little contract you definitely didn't read. Surprise. It says you can't sue Mantra under any circumstances. So now, Mantra has her locked in. If she keeps pushing it, they're coming for her with a defamation lawsuit, a fine of 5 billion rupees, or max prison time. Yeah, no pressure, right? Nella's like, well damn, this is heavy. She sees no way out and decides to give up. The consequences are just too much to handle. So what does she do? Pack her bags, head back to her hometown, and take over the family bakery. I mean, she tries to make it work on social media, posting pics of her cakes, but crickets. Nothing. It's all super quiet. Her life's basically gone from exciting drama to a total snooze fest. Talk about a major vibe shift. So, at the end of Control, Nella's back at it with that Control AI app banner. After losing pretty much everything, this girl's feeling totally alone and decides, you know what, let's reinstall this thing. But this time, she's not picking some random avatar. Nope. She goes for the one that looks just like Joe. Yup, super dramatic, right? Why though? Well, after losing her career and identity, Nella's just craving some emotional connection, even if it's with a digital version of Joe who's long gone. You could say Nella's looking for an escape from the harsh reality, and maybe, just maybe, that's her only shot at feeling a little happy. Digital happiness, anyone? This decision basically screams how lonely and dependent she's become on technology. I mean, in today's digital world, a lot of people turn to the online world to find comfort when their real life's a hot mess. So yeah, Nella's kind of the perfect example of how the digital world can mess with your head and make you forget about what's real. So what's the takeaway? Nella picking Joe's avatar at the end is kind of a reminder that even though we know how dangerous it can get, we humans still run to technology for comfort even if it's the thing that could control us. The movie really makes you think, in this digital age, who's really in control here? What do you guys think? If you were in Nella's shoes, would you stick with the app or just hit uninstall? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And hey, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so I can keep dropping more film breakdowns. Catch you in the next video, and stay cinematic.